Hey fellas, your commissioner here, coming at you for a little week 3 of NFL action. Of course, I've got the lighting. Oh, Jesus, that's bright. That I don't like. You can see it glowing off my forehead. I tried to glowing off my skin here. We'll cover that up. I know it's just, you have to say on YouTube now if your video's, meant for kids or not. I always say, of course, it's not, because, we got a little bit of light profanity in the videos. And just, hey, fantasy football is a man's game. It's not meant for the kids. So, but, as you can see here, a little, I've been in a tank top first 3 videos, trying to change up the mojo a little bit. Lag check. Okay, I think we're good. Get a little light, something a little loose. That's actually very big on me. Really big. I guess it's good. No COVID weight. Getting a little bit, but not too much. You know what I'm saying? Not too much. But yeah, a lot of injuries last week. I think about half the league tore their ACL. Very unfortunate. And just we have the ACL tears this week. We had the rip thing last week, and at least there's been no COVID test yet. Positive, no big players have gone out. But let's try to brighten the mood. Let's have a fun, successful week 3. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into a recap of last week's matchups. We'll start off with our Blue Diamond Almond game of the week between Dirty Birds of War and Discount Double Check. Didn't really live up to the hype. Wasn't particularly close. Rip just ran away with this one. Put up 177.45 to 153 for Plunk. Just absolute dominant performance from Rip. He puts up 177 with Saquon only getting 3 points before he goes out with the ACL tear. He got almost 90 points combined from just 2 players. That's got to be close to a league record if I've ever seen one. Aaron Jones and Josh Allen absolutely balled out. Mike Evans feasted against the weak Panthers secondary. John Brown had another solid game. Eckler back to form. Great game from him. Still got that elusive tight end. You can't figure out that tight end slot yet. Brody, I can't let you out. It's raining, okay? Just give me 20, 30 minutes, okay? Go lay down. Kids, right? Not a terrible game from Plunk, but he got nothing from Hines and he got nothing from Sanders, and newly acquired Robert Woods kind of underperformed as well. Had a very quiet day outside the rushing touchdown. But hey, even with that, he still puts up 153. His studs delivered per usual. Great game from Kelsey, Hopkins, Kamara, monster game from Kamara, and pedestrian game for Lamar, but he still got 20 points. When that's your floor for a quarterback, you're going to be doing pretty good. So both of those teams are now 1-1, and Rip could very easily be 2-0. But he's not. We've got our 2 undefeated teams left, and Hunter Hawkins and we'll go with our first one at Hunter Hawkins. Quite to my surprise, is able to knock off Nick 137.9 to 131.5. Really good game from Hawk. Just solid. Both weeks he's just cranked out a very good performance. Great game from Sanders coming back. Brandon Cooks had a good game. Fant continues to look like a top 5, top 3, hell, even tight end. And not a bad game from Nick. Decent production out of Cup. Great production out of Montgomery. That's his team's pretty scary now with his 2 running backs with Zeke and Montgomery. Montgomery's looked very good to start the year. Bench Deshaun, can't say I blame him. But, 16 points out of his IDP, that's just the bullshit luck Nick gets. Nick hasn't had a single injury he's had to deal with yet, other than, Tevin Coleman. Whoop-de-doo. Unfortunately, Hawk was able to do this without A.J. Brown even. A.J. Brown's out for the foreseeable future. Good for Hawk. Nick falls to 1-1. Very easily could be 0-2, and damn, I wish he was, but he's not. So brings us to our other undefeated team, the Fat Bastards. They were able to knock off. If it'll load. Oh, that's cool. Piece of shit. I don't know what it is. I've got fiber optic Wi-Fi, right? Well, I guess fiber optic can't technically be Wi-Fi, right? Because it's a wire. But, on my phone, everything else that uses Wi-Fi, not a problem. I mean, runs fast, flawless. I mean, I could be streaming 5 different things. But for whatever reason, there's like 5 or 6 apps. And, of course, they're the apps I use the most. Fantasy Football, ESPN, Twitter, that just load slow as piss. I don't understand. Is there something wrong with my phone? Is it the Wi-Fi adapter? I could be right next to it and it'll still load slow. I can go to my mom's house where she's got like 20 megabyte, internet, and loads just like that. Is my internet too good that it's slowing down for some of these apps? I just don't understand it. Figure it out. Somebody figure it out. I don't know. Another great for Ford. I mean, I definitely undervalued his team, as I think a lot of people did. But he puts up 154. Back-to-back weeks over 140. Kyler looks like a freaking beast. Dalvin and Carson is by far the best 1-2 punch in the league now, especially with R.I.P. McCaffrey. You couldn't see me. I don't know if that's the right order. I'm sorry if I offend. He's got Shark, Diggs, CD looks like the wide receiver 2 there. Clearly just jumped Gallup and Dallas. His bench leaves a little bit to be desired. I'm not going to lie to you, but he's definitely got one of the best starting lineups in the league. Can go toe for toe with just about anybody, as he's proven. Then that brings us to Blaine. Probably the owner who is, if Ford is the owner who's exceeded expectations the most, Blaine is probably the owner who's exceeded disappointed expectations, failed expectations. What's other synonyms for sucking? Depleted expectations. That's a word. Demolish could be good. Just bad. You know what I mean? Like, Blaine's put up back-to-back weeks of basically about 115. He's got Tyreek Hill. He's got Tyler Lockett. They're good. James Conner's good. He didn't have Kittle. That's unfortunate. I don't know, Blaine. I mean, you can do better. Your team's a mess. It's going to be last in power rankings this week. Probably unanimous last place. You're sitting at 0-2. There's only one other team who's 0-2, buddy. And at least they put up one really good week. But I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do. You tried to make some moves with Fab today. Your Fab's pretty much gone. We'll see if that works out. I'd say you need to make some trades, but I don't know that you have enough depth to where it's really going to improve your team by making trades without hurting you in another area. I do like the Gardner pickup. We'll get to that a little bit later. I think that's solid for you. But, yeah, buddy, you need to figure it out fast. Otherwise, you're going to be competing for the horse ass, and nobody wants to see that. That's for sure. Which brings me to our other 0-2 team. Just absolutely brutal loss for Duncan. Major redemption for him from last week's shit show of a performance where he doesn't break 100 points. Puts up 164.3 this week. You know, he's up like almost 30 points going into Monday night. Craig's only got Darren Waller left, thinking, Darren Waller could have a good game, but, almost 30 points? There's no way. There's just no way. I mean, the Saints are a decent defense, right? Well, what does Darren Waller do? He goes and drops 12 for 103 and a tutty. Right in Duncan's lap, right there. And Craig pulls out the victory 164.9 to 164.3. Extremely close margin for error there. And honestly, I feel bad for Duncan. I feel bad for him. Might be a stat correction that gets him enough to get the win. But, I mean, monster performance from Dak. Chubb looks great. Jonnu had a baller of a game. DJ Moore finally got going. But that damn Darren Waller, man, it'll get you. So Craig is able to salvage. I mean, this was to go to 0-2. I mean, this was two 0-1 teams facing off against each other. And, man, Duncan, I feel for you, brother. It's not good. It's not good. So, yeah, Craig saves his season, moves to 1-1, though he did lose Mostert in the process. But, his team's looking solid overall. I don't know what he's going to do at running back. I think he did pick somebody. Well, he's got Chris Thompson. Yeah, still some work to do for both of those teams for sure. Our next game here, we got cataclysmic catches coming off the best performance of last week to now the worst performance of this week. Wilson. You knew this was going to happen. You said it yourself. You knew it was going to happen. You go out and drop 173, and then I FaceTime you. You get on the State of the Union. You talk all that shit. You did have the caveat of I'm probably going to go 0-6 after this. And, let's just say you're on your way. Not a single player over double digits outside of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson goes and drops 41 points on Sunday Night Football, and that's the only reason that Wilson did not have one of the all-time worst performances in league history. I think Plunk's got the record at like 40-something points scored. Shout out to Plunk. Good job. Hey, you won. Your name's on the trophy forever, but your name's also in the history books as having the lowest point total ever scored in league history. So, high of highs and the low of lows. You've got them both, buddy. I mean, Wilson. I wish I could tear into you more, but you knew this was going to happen. You said it was going to happen. And, I think we got a glimpse of what Wilson's team is actually going to be like. It's not good. It's not good. This is the horse-ass team. This is bitch boy Bobby Petrino, man. This is it. Not to be over. I mean, JD had a solid game. He was really kind of carried by Patty and Higbee. His receivers are abysmal week for his receivers. I mean, they barely combined for over. They didn't even combine for over 20 points. So definitely has some work to do to figure out at receiver. Obviously I think Julio is going to be okay, but Kirk not looking good with Hopkins in town. Lazard's a piece of shit. Preston Williams not looking like he's got that magic from his rookie season. A little slow start from the ACL recovery, but nevertheless, both those teams are 1-1. And that brings us to our last matchup of the week. I told you, everybody could have had an easy 10 fab if you just put some money on Savoy. He wins 147 to 116.5. you know, the glass half full side of things for my team, I had Paris Campbell get hurt on the second play of the game. He's gone. I had Sterling Shepard get hurt like early in the second quarter, gone. Mark Andrews played 50% of the snaps. So to still put up 116, really behind the strength of my two buddies, Calvin and Terry. That's about the only two bright spots on my team right now. Clyde does not look like I should have drafted him 4th overall. I probably should have taken Dalvin. But there's still time. The Chargers, I think, have a underrated defense. I mean, their defense is still one of the tops in the league, and I don't think they really get enough credit for it. So I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Of course, Fournette has his breakout game, and I'm gonna play him this week, and he's gonna get about 5 or 6 points. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, I mean, just dominant game from Savoy. Unfortunately for him, he did lose McCaffrey for the year with that ACL, and his running back depth is thin. But hopefully, Kareem can keep doing what he's been doing for him, and Kareem and Derek will definitely still get them along. So both those teams are also 1-1. So we had obviously another busy waiver afternoon today. A lot of fab dropped. I think somebody said, Craig, said that Rip ended up spending $86 of his fab. That's got to be a record. People are throwing around money this year, and I love to see it. We had Dion Lewis go for 21, Dalton Schultz go for 13, Minshew go for 11, Claypool 12, Keelan Cole 19, Mike Davis 53, Devontae Freeman 33. So I guess Rip doubled down. He double dipped in the Giants' backfield. He's going to make sure he gets one of them. He spent $54 on the Giants' backfield. I don't think he realizes that even Saquon was struggling behind that offensive line. And you expect Dion Lewis and Devontae Freeman to do better? He spent 54. I mean, you bet they're like going after. I mean, what should done is going after Mike Davis. I mean, Blaine drops 53, which I think is probably too much for Mike Davis personally, but I can buy that more than Dion and Devontae. So we'll see. Hopefully, he did get a good tight end there in Schultz, but some interesting acquisitions have definitely occurred the last couple weeks. To say the least. Budgets are looking thin already, and you got some people who haven't spent any money. So I could think who. I don't think JD's maybe spent just a fraction of his money. I don't think Hawks really spent like maybe $1. Savoy's barely spent any. Nick's barely spent any. But yeah, Swamp Donkeys. Woo, that Swamp Donkey's all the way down to $29 left. So he might be. Hey, go hit Blaine up. He'll give him some fab, and he'll give you Tyreek for 20 fab probably. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get into a preview of this week's matchups. We'll look at what's going to be the game of the week. I got a couple ideas. I'm not 100%. No, I can't give it to him. No. Yeah, it's time. We'll just do mine. All right, so start off the first game of the week. We got Dirty Birds facing off against Kickers. Punk's projected to win that one, 144 to 122. Punk's pretty much projected to get 144 every week. It's quite fun. Probably should be undefeated, quite personally thinking. But yeah, I don't see this one as being much of up for debate. Did Duncan bench Amari last week? He did, didn't he? No, he didn't. Okay. No, he didn't. Yeah, his running backs are yeah, his running backs are easily the worst in the league. Yeah, thank God he's got Chubb. Um, very bad, very bad. Yeah, Punk's going to win this one big. I don't know if he covers, but yeah, he'll definitely win this one big. Probably covers too. Then we got the Cataclysmic Catches versus the Chemist. A lot of C's in that one. Ah, shit, I got something on my eye. Ah! Oh, no! All right. I think I'm good. Yeah, Savoy's projected to win this one, actually 123 to 122. This line's gone back and forth by about a point all day. We've already got a lot of action on this game. A couple owners putting max bids on Savoy. Personally, I buy it. I don't know that Wilson gets up to that 122 mark with his roster as is. He's got brutal matchups for his running backs. Devontae Adams and Jamison Crowder both look unlikely probably to play with hamstring injuries. If they do, they'll definitely be limited. So, yeah, I mean, the replacements they'll have to put in for those guys are poopy. That's the only word I can use to describe it. And, you know, Savoy's got easily the shallowest team in the league, but I still do like his starting lineup. I do think as long as he doesn't have any more injuries, he still does have a shot to win it all, but it's definitely going to be a lot tougher losing CMC. The curse of the number one pick, man, it's undeniable. I don't know. I guess I started it. I don't know why it happened or what, but I'm pretty sure ever since I won, I think it was the year after I won the championship, that I got the number one pick the next year, and it's been cursed ever since. So I don't know. I don't know. Sucks for Savoy, but I do think he has enough firepower to get this one. Maybe I'll even sprinkle a little action on that one as well. We'll see. But I'm a little shook. Obviously, I was 6-0 last year. I lost my first bet ever on Fab by that shit-ass performance from Blaine. You piece of shit, Blaine. You let me down. You let me down. You son of a bitch. You son of a gun. So, anyways, yeah, Savoy in that one. Then we got Razorback Revival versus Doesn't Contribute. Nick is projected to win this one 132 to 126. Be generous. Still, I just don't think that Thomas is going to play in this one. But, you know, and with Mostert out, Lindsey's out. Yeah, I mean, I do like his bench receivers there, so I think he'll probably be okay. Obviously, you can't replace Michael Thomas, but his running backs are the real concern. Without Mostert and Lindsey, only having Chris Thompson as your backup, and Mixon's been supremely underwhelming so far this season. Yeah, I think Nick's about to go on a big run. I think Nick's about to go on a big run here, where he's putting up 130 to 140 every week. And you got to be on your shit if you want to knock him off. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he does it every year. Looking at his draft, it was underwhelming as shit. But literally all of his players have hit that he picked, outside of maybe like Cam Akers, and he's made a couple good pickups off the wire. And that trade to get Montgomery was just huge for him. I mean, if he hadn't made that trade to get Montgomery, he would be having to start, Josh Kelly or Alexander Madison. So, good job, Punk, you fucking idiot. Why give him a running back? Your running back's thin too. Why give him a running back that he's thin at? For a lateral move at receiver, pretty much. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. But it is what it is. I do think that Nick wins this one. The injuries are going to be a little bit too much to overcome, I think, for Craig. But I do think he's probably close. And probably a little sneaky over on that one, too. Brings us to our next matchup. We got the 0-2 Swamp Donkeys going up against Wake and Drake. Absolute must-win for Blaine. Of course, it's a must-win for Duncan, too, but he's going to go to 0-3. Yeah, Blaine definitely has to win this one. Will he? I don't know. I don't think that JD's team is super exciting. I think it's just a a middle-of-the-road team right now, the way it's set up, even though he does have Jonathan Taylor Thomas form as RB1 now. Hopefully he'll have Galladay back. And he's got Deshaun, so I did forget that he had Galladay. So I'm gonna take back what I said. His receivers aren't that bad. I mean, on paper they're pretty good. Solid 1-2 punch with Julio and Galladay, but underperforming. Yeah, gosh, Blaine, I just don't know if you can do it, brother. I'm gonna roll the dice with you one more time. I'm gonna pick Blaine to win this one close. Definitely don't want to have any action on this game because I have no idea, what's going to happen. With the way Blaine has been performing, JD will probably win by 20. So, and then we got discount double check versus Hurricane season. Another close one. Rip's projected to win this one, 126.3 to 125.1. I don't think that Rip's team is capable of putting up 177 every week. I think it's more of a 130. I think he's kind of overperformed the last 2 weeks, quite personally, because he's had Josh Allen. I mean, he's had 2 pretty cupcake matchups so far. Aaron Jones, everyone said he was going to regress from last year. Well, shit ain't happening yet. So, but I do think Mike Evans takes a little bit of a hit with Godwin coming back this week. The way his luck's been at tight end. Ingram had a good game last week. Now he starts him, and Ingram will probably have 5 points. So, this one's going to be a tough one. This is one I don't really have a good feel for. I'd stay away from it personally. We do have some action on this game for, I think, Rip and the over. I do like the over in this one. I think some good matchups across the board for everybody. But ultimately, I think Rip has enough firepower to put that first blemish on Hawk's resume and gets the win. All right, so that brings us to our I have no idea what the game of the week is going to be. We'll just do this one. I don't think I've ever done this one. Oh, whoa. Yeah, I got to mess with the brightness because of my skin. It's so white, you know what I mean? Our Lara Bar. I thought it was Lar Bar, but I guess it's Lara Bar game of the week. Our Lara Bar game of the week. The original fruit and nut food bar. This is the lemon bar. Just 6 ingredients. Can you believe that? Just 6 ingredients go in this thing. It's non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, dairy-free, soy-free. So if you're on that bullshit life, this is something that'd be great for you. It's got no added sugars, which is great. It does have a little bit of sugars from the dates and the lemon juice and all that. Got some protein, some cows, a little bit of fat, some sodium, not that big a deal, some fiber, good amount of fiber, and potassium. Larbar, the Larbar Lemon Bar, the official fruit and nut bar of the Fill Me Up Daddy Fantasy Football League. Let's have a bite, yeah? Cheers. Yeah. Why can't healthy shit taste good? Like, yeah. That's why I have a ton of these left. I'm not a fan of them. But they're healthy for you, right? They're good for you. So, anyway, that's the Fat Bastards versus the John L. Experience. Ford is projected to win this one 131 to 125.7. Battle of the quarterback, we got Kyler Murray going up against Detroit and Big Ben facing Houston. I mean, the way Kyler's been performing, I think it's a no-brainer. Kyler's definitely going to get the edge there. Lions defense is not good. I mean, that's kind of Patricia's whole thing, right? Is he supposed to be a defensive guy? Patricia's probably going to get fired at the end of the year. Battle of the running back. We got Dalvin Cook and Chris Carson versus Clyde Edwards-Helaire and TBD. Right now, I've got Swift in there. It could be Gaskin. It could be Fournette. I don't know. Regardless, I do like Ford's running backs there. Battle of the receivers. We got Calvin Ridley, Terry McLaurin, Terry McLaurin, and Chris Godwin versus CeeDee Lamb, Stephon Diggs, and DJ Chark. So, as most of you know, when I played Ford last year, I think Stephon Diggs had probably the best game of his career. I think he had something like 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards. Just one of the best performances in fantasy of all time from a receiver. And that was against me. And as many of you might remember, Diggs had really not been doing much. He really hadn't been doing much the whole season leading up to that game. So then, boom, he comes in, drops a big old shit on me. None of the rest of Ford's team did very well. But it was Ford's probably best game of the year, and he beat me. If that wasn't bad enough, guess who he's starting at his flex? It's Darius Slayton. Everybody knows my thoughts on Darius Slayton, that little cocksucker who also hadn't really done shit all year. Boom, bust, boom, bust, boom, bust. He comes to play. I had the honor of going against him with Nick having him last year. He drops a big old, 35-point game right on my face. So this matchup's very personal for me. It's got my 2 top hated receivers in the league. It's Stephon Diggs and Darius Slayton. And I just can't wait to see what they're going to do with them being on the same team. I mean, shit, their powers are going to, Dragon Ball Z fusion shit combine and absolutely sculpt me to probably the tune of 100 points between the both of them. And I can't wait to see it. Tight end, I'm going to wipe the floor with Goddard. Receivers, fuck them. I've got them. I've got the receivers. I got the flex. I got them all except quarterbacks and running backs. And I'm going to come out here and I'm going to stomp on Slayton. I'm going to stomp on Diggs. I don't care if they drop 55 points each. I don't care. I'm going to beat them. And I'm going to get my ass to 2-1 and knock off Ford from the ranks of undefeated. There's going to be no undefeated teams after this year. That's a guarantee right now. And I promise you. So, boy, you made a mistake betting on Ford -5, whatever you got. All right? Because the John L. experience is here for blood. This is personal. My whole team knows it. This is a critical matchup for the squad. And we will not disappoint. I promise you that. You can take that to the bank. All right? So that's all I got this week, fellas. Good luck to everyone. Be safe. And, as always, whoop pig.